So good morning again. I'm bringing this for my own amusement. Notes that I most likely won't even look at except to offer you a few quotes. And I'm always honored when I am asked to speak on a Sunday. I speak every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 here in the sanctuary, and it's just it's an amazingly different energy to share in a Sunday celebration. And I wanted to share with you this morning, I thought about entitling my talk, Let It Go. Because there are just so many things in my life I seem to be letting go of, and isn't it true that at this time of year we tend to be more reflective, we tend to be more looking at what we want to let go of and clean up and make room for the new and set some new intentions for the new year. And that comes along with the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, but also we've had this incredible energy of moving out of an old era, if you will, and moving into a new era. And the point I would like to bring to your awareness is that in every moment of every day, we are always new. In every moment of every day, we have the opportunity to choose again and again and again. And every moment is new. And the power of creativity is available to each and every one of us in every moment. It just tends to be a little more in our consciousness, a little more in our awareness during this time of year. So in looking at this idea of letting go, I moved into this idea of letting it be, because I think ultimately that is, I don't want to put the word challenge to it, but ultimately my goal is to really set the intention and then let it be. Instead of getting in my own way and tripping myself up to not experiencing the fullness of all the blessings that life has to offer me. And so what I love about this teaching is that it teaches us to live with presence, to be present to life, to be clear in our thinking and intentional in our actions, and to do that level of inside work so that spiritually all that is available to us can be reflected and experienced in our lives, expressed and experienced in our lives. And it's about letting go. It's not just about allowing, it's about letting go of anything that might be getting in the way of living and experiencing life fully. And I love that about this teaching. When I'm looking at my past year and things that have been amazing and things that have not felt so good, still the things that have not felt so good have been amazing. You see, if I look for the blessing in everything, then I open myself up to more choices, more power, and more freedom. And I give myself the opportunity. I'm so committed to doing my work. I am so committed to doing that every day, in every way, living as clearly as I can, and really getting in touch with what works for me. Who have I come here to be? How can I express that more clearly? How can I relax into that? And a lot of times I think I can get caught up in, and I'm sure, I know many people do this, get caught up in thinking that there are so many things to do. You know, if I've come here to be this and I've come here to be that, then there's certainly, you know, work that has to be done. But what I have come to understand within myself is that, is that me? Yeah, it is. What I've come to understand in myself, did I just knock it off? Yeah. That's great. Wonderful. Now this is new. Now this techno stuff. Can you hear me now? Yes. There you go. Oh, it came unplugged. I'm just going to hold this. Okay. So I tend to do things like create distractions. They keep me from fully jumping in. And don't we all do that? And the trick is to have fun with it and to not judge it. So what I've learned in releasing, when I focus on the whole idea of coming to an end of an era or a year or a day or a moment, is what do I want to change in my life? And this teaching is very much about affirming and setting intentions and moving toward our dreams and our aspirations. And yet, there are things to be released. And for me, what that has come down to is sorting through all the beliefs. All the beliefs that I'm affirming the truth, yet in our subconscious, if you look at your subconscious as a storehouse, it's a storehouse of every experience, every memory, every thought that you've ever had. And apparently mine's over here to my right, because that's always where I put my hands. This storehouse of the subconscious really is the filter through which you experience and feel and think and see every aspect of your life. And we do a lot of work here on this idea of hidden beliefs. You see, because we can affirm all we want for our lives, yet the process is a bit slower if we don't quickly get in touch with what's underneath that's not allowing that to happen in our lives. And for me, I have come to discover that I have lived my whole life with a lie. And for many of us, it shows up differently. It can show up as relationships don't work. It can show up as not enough money. And for me, I will share with you the lie that I tended to tote around with me most of my life is that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. Right? So what happens when you have a belief of I'm not good enough is you start creating not enough in your life. Not enough love, not enough money, not enough work, not enough opportunities, not enough connection, not enough. And so when I started doing this, really working the science of mind teachings, and I really got in touch with that, I thought, well, how could that be? Because I'm affirming every day that I'm brilliant and I'm prosperous and I am successful in every endeavor. And I would take these affirmations to heart. I mean, really take them to heart. But I couldn't understand why I wasn't feeling that little shift inside of me. What I realized was I still had this underlying belief that I wasn't good enough, that I could be only so good. I could be better. I was willing to be better. I was willing to see myself and experience my life as better. But I wasn't sure that I could really stand open and receptive to this idea of, wow, I really am good enough. And I really have something special to offer. And I really am amazing. Because I can see that in all of you. Can I see it in myself? And that's always the question. It's quick and easy to see that and be supportive of a friend or someone in the spiritual community as far as seeing their magnificence and supporting their divine spiritual self. Do you in every moment have the willingness, let's say, to stand in that divine presence of yourself? Ernest Holmes refers to courting the divine, that relationship within ourselves, that mystical presence that we all are, that divinity. Every day nurture that. That's what spiritual practice is about. That's what spiritual mind treatment helps us to move into. That whole identity prayer is my mantra all the time. I will blurt that out of my mouth even without thinking. And that has become so ingrained in my consciousness. And the thing is, most of the time, I believe it. I embrace it, I embody it, I feel it, and I know it. And that is who we are as mystical beings. So this idea of letting go is first, for me, was identifying the lie. What's the lie? So that's the lie. Okay, the lie was I was not good enough. And see, this is my belief. I believe that we all come into this life as amazing beings of light and love. You've seen it. You've seen it in a newborn. You've seen it in a kitten. You've seen it in a puppy. This amazing energy, just free and vibrant and alive and open, and knowing that we all come in as this magnificence. We all come in as wisdom and beauty and peace and joy and prosperity, holding the full potential of having an amazing, amazing life and connectedness, and continuing that unity that we all have with one another, because we're all spirit expressing, you see, so we're all unified in that. So remembering that. So we come in with this amazing light and life and love, and then life happens. You see, then we start to have a human experience, and we start to build up these, for me, it looked like I just kind of got off track, and I started to forget who I was as a magnificent being. And I started collecting these little ideas about myself, that I wasn't good enough, or that something had to be a struggle, or this wasn't safe, or whatever. However it showed up, this I need to be afraid of. However it showed up in my life, what happened was I started to move away from my spiritual divinity, my spiritual truth, at least the remembering of that, because we can never move away from it. And I go on this long, roundabout, wild, I must say, crazy journey, far, far away from my own self. And I felt this incredible sense of separation. And then I hit upon a spiritual path, and then another, and then another. So what happened for me is I started to come around full circle again to myself. This is a brief description of my spiritual journey. You see, so I started affirming the truth. I started saying, yeah, I'm open to see myself as powerful. Yeah, I'm open to seeing myself as absolutely trusting and loving. Yeah, I'm open to being prosperous. I'm open to being successful. I'm open to being something different than I ever thought I could be in my life. I'm open to that, and I start moving toward that, and toward that, and toward that, and affirming that. And every time the fear cropped up, or any time the lie would rear its head, just do my work and saying, no, I'm not going to believe that. I'm not going to believe the lie. For me, that has been my spiritual work. That has been my inner work. And, eventually we come around full circle. We get closer and closer and closer. That's what I love about this community, is we support one another, moving closer and closer and closer to our own divine truth, the truth of who we are, because we see that in one another. And then eventually, within myself, I've come to this point, and I'm very much about talking about being on the edge. When you have come to the edge of everything that you have ever known in your life, oftentimes there are two choices. Either jump without thinking, which I have done plenty of, or retreat and run away. Those, I thought, were my two options. There's one more option. It's to stand in the truth. Stand in the truth of knowing who you are and remembering that in every moment. And for me, when I allow myself, because you still have moments, right? So when I allow myself to stand in my own truth like that, and I'm standing on the edge, I'm standing on the edge of all I've ever known, I don't know where to go or what to do, I can just stand there. And what has happened is this whole sense of separation, this huge abyss that I felt within myself spiritually, has drawn closer and closer and closer. It's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. You see, this abyss is kind of shrunken and going away. Now it's like this little crack that I can step over. But what happens is I stand there when I feel like I'm at the edge. Sometimes I just stand there as though I'm looking into my own divinity, as if I'm looking into a mirror and remembering who I am and claiming that, and standing still and allowing that and relaxing into that truth. And there's a peace that overcomes everything. There's a sense of love and compassion that overcomes everything when I stand in that presence. And really I'm standing in my own presence, my own divinity. And what I realized is, okay, I have to do this. What I realized is that when I've come face to face with my human self, what I call my small s self, meeting up with my big S self, and I won't say that really fast with a southern accent, it'll sound differently. So I have my big S self and my small s self, and I'm standing here. I spend a lot of time here now. I spend a lot of time very aware of who I am as a divine presence, as the divine presence. And what I started to do was relax into that. And what happened was it felt like a melding. It felt like a melding. And that coming together of my big S self and my little s self, that's wholeness. You see, I started to experience this new sense of wholeness within myself. And that sense of wholeness just magnifies everything in my life. It makes everything bigger and brighter and more alive and more real and more grounding. And there's a sense of knowing within me now. And it's all through having the courage and the willingness to say no to the lie and start living my truth. So that's the first point, is defining the lie and then being willing to let go of the lie. I'm doing an upcoming class on Thomas Troward, and he's very heady. I read this quote. It was brilliant. It was about a lie. I thought, ooh, this would be good. I read it 3 times. I was like, what? But let me tell you my interpretation of that. So my interpretation of this quote is that the only truth that there is spirit. And the only truth in spirit is wisdom, love, light, peace, joy, beauty. You know, all that stuff that we're always, always seeking to express and experience in our lives. And in this quote, he mentions that truth can only know truth. Spirit can only adhere to truth. Spirit cannot adhere to a lie. If truth is all that there is, truth is all that there is. You see, so in this little journey of mine, I set out to prove or disprove my lie. And what I've come to realize is truth does not need defending, justifying. It just needs to be within me. I want to allow it to just be. There is no reason to defend it or justify it or judge it in any way, or present it in a way that somebody else understands. My truth is my truth. I know who I am. I know who I've come here to be, and to allow myself to relax into that and live in that level of truth. There's such power in that. There's such freedom and liberation in that, in allowing that for myself. So I define the lie, I say no to the lie. What I want to let go of, rather, is all the ways that lie has kept me playing small. Be it anxiety, be it fear, be it holding myself back in some way, not going for things that I really somehow deeply desire to do, go places that I didn't dare think I could ever go, and to be willing to say yes, yes I can, yes I can. And that has been one of the best parts of the journey for me, in the letting go, identifying what was tripping me up and being willing to say no. And you see, when it comes up, I have to be aware for myself, how is it coming up? How is it coming up, and do I have the courage and the clarity to say no, that's not who I am? And, a lot of times I don't know what I want. And so when I'm moving into this, I was thinking about what intentions do I want to set for the new year, and sometimes I just don't know. I don't know, but I know that I want to live in my own power. I want to live from this point of love and divinity within myself. I want to live in a way that I am not so taken by the events of my life, or the people of my life, or the situations or seeming conditions of life. Anything that's going on out there, I want to be so grounded and centered in who I am, that's how I want to bring myself into this new era, this new year, this new moment. And so there's, we often talk here at the center about this phrase, I don't care. And when I would hear somebody say, I don't care, I would think, oh, I'm so sensitive, right? If I said something and somebody said, yeah, I don't care, to me, I'd be like, oh God, I'd feel crushed. And what I learned is there's a way for me to say I don't care about what seems to be going on out there in a way that is compassionate. I mean, really saying I don't care to the drama, or saying I don't care to things that are conflicting and consistently getting in my way. To say I don't care to that is probably the most compassionate thing I can do for myself, because then I'm not engaging in the lie. I'm not engaging and participating at that level anymore. And so I've moved into this way of being that, and it's a daily practice for me. If I can get to the place of it doesn't matter, if my fear is that this is going to happen, and I can get to the place within myself that it doesn't matter, that I really don't care, it's okay, it's cool either way, it's good. It's good if it goes that way, it's good if it doesn't. If I can be in that place, I am wide open. I am wide open to possibilities. I am wide open to the infinite number of choices that are available to me. And what I know about myself is that in every moment, I want to be in that place of opening up and trusting life at that level. Just the same way that I trust my heart to beat. Just the same way that I trust my lungs to just go ahead and pump for the air. I want to be able to trust life in such a way that I don't even have to think about it. That there's less and less effort that I have to put forth, that I can just let my light shine, that I can just allow myself to be. And we all have that potential. So that's my invitation to you at this time of life, this time of year, in this now moment, is to look, is there anything getting in your way? And can I'm offering myself right here, right now. Can I stand with you in truth? And be right by your side as you just say no to the lie and welcome the truth of who you are. And may I stand with you while you are choosing where you want to go in life. Who do you want to be? How do you want to get there? What's it going to look like? Are you willing to open up and dream? And that part of the process for me is about affirming your truth and setting your intention. That's the work, that's the inner work. Yes, there's always outer activity or outer action, if you will, to be done to move toward our dreams and toward our intention. But the real work for me has been on the inside. The real work has been quiet. It's been sweet. It's been emotional. It's been mystical, if you will. And it's all been very private. It's that level of work that I'm doing consistently and constantly with my own consciousness. And the only thing that I know for me about consciousness is that if I can remember who I am, just like that identity prayer, I'm always safe. I'm always right on. I'm always clear. I'm always perfect right where I'm at. And that's the thing. I had to learn how to stop judging myself. That was one of the ways that my lie showed up, was in self-judgment, either in judging others or in judging myself. So I want to let that go. Those are the types of things that I want to let go of. And the truth instead that I want to claim is the love and the wealth and the health and the happiness and the wholeness and all that good stuff, all that juicy good stuff that we talk about all the time. And for the most part, I experience that every day, in every way. I just have to wake up and remember that every moment, in every way. And then the other part of that is about allowing it. Like I said earlier, it's about letting it be. You see, because we can call forth, in my own experience, I've called forth stuff. You know, I've called forth experiences, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and you know, I've kind of tripped myself up along the way, but yet there are times more and more and more, the more I practice this, the easier it gets, and the more natural it is for me to open up and allow life to give itself to me, if you will. And in that, I have greater clarity in moving towards something new, and then something new, and then something new. There's a newness present in every moment. There's the possibilities are infinite. They are endless. There is everything available within us. Lao Tzu, did I say that right? Has a quote. It says, "At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want." And that's the invitation, is to go within. To live my life outwardly in a way that I am so inwardly connected, if that makes sense. Living outwardly in a way where I'm so inwardly connected that in every moment I remember my magnificence. In every moment I remember that there is only love. And love will heal and touch and bless and change anything. Love is always the answer. And there is that wisdom that even if I think I don't know what to do, I do. Because there's an inner wisdom that is this incredible divine matrix that is my body, right? It's just infinite intelligence. We all have this infinite intelligence at work in every moment, in every way. And it's that same wisdom and intelligence that is operating our body, carrying us through this life, that operates our consciousness. We can tap into anything in any moment. And that part of the process for me has been so healing and so revealing. Ernest Holmes says that there's nothing to be healed and only truth to be revealed. So going back to this idea of not engaging in participating in the lie anymore and saying, you know, yeah, I don't care about that anymore. I don't want to live my life that way. I'm choosing anew. I'm choosing anew. I'm choosing anew. Ernest Holmes says, he has a quote that said, the truth has no opposites. And I love that. The truth is the truth is the truth. There is an aspect of you that is unchanging. And when we come from that place, all that we could ever desire is there. And I want to share with you another Ernest quote. Actually, let me give you a Trevor quote that's easily understood. "My mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before. Something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner in me. Consequently, in my special world, of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before." This is not only a new era. It's not only a new year coming up. It's not only a new day. This is a new moment. And when life just kind of seems to stop right here, you get to close your eyes and go, yeah, It's a new moment. How do I want to see it? And shift that perspective within ourselves. So the invitation then is to let go. Let go of anything that's ever been in your way. There's no reason to prove or disprove a lie anymore. There is no reason to prove or disprove the truth, because the truth is the truth is the truth. You are a magnificent, divine, spiritual being. You have something special to offer in a way that only you can. You come to fill that space that gives us a physical experience of wholeness. We interact with one another. We are that web of life. We are all interconnected, unified in this divine presence, as this divine presence. Yet who we are and what we bring and how we bring ourselves into life makes all the difference in the world. That is the weaving of the web. We are weaving a new life together. So the invitation is to let go of what doesn't support you. Move into the truth of who you are, recognizing your own divinity, bringing that forth, and then the real trick is to let it be. So happy New Year. Thank you.